I had to get out, like I had to seriously escape. So here in Melbourne, we've just finished our 4th COVID-induced lockdown. That's our 4th. And as soon as it was over, all I could think to do was to escape. Like, just get out of Melbourne. Somewhere to the mountains, somewhere where it was clean air and fresh, because my brain was absolutely cooked. Like, oh.
You better get big and strong for all that exploring we're about to do. Ooh. That's right, buddy.
We've got everything. We're packed. We're pretty busy. Parenting trick 101. Lots of popcorn in the back seat.
For me, I'm someone who's usually found it pretty easy to escape, like get completely off the grid. And for me, there are 3 non-negotiable ingredients when it comes to getting lost. It's the sort of lost where you don't pick up your phone, where you forget about that shitty meeting you had where that person made you really upset, and you really spend some time, some real quality time with the people that you love. Nothing but mountain air, mountain beer, late night dinners, early morning hikes. The first thing is you need to leave your natural habitat. I've never been one for the staycation. It never really ever made sense to me. I don't mind staying in someone else's city, but the pandemic has made that a little bit difficult because of these guys. And I actually can't feel like I'm escaping if I am half a chance to run into someone that I know. So for this trip, my family and I have come to the mountains. To be at the foot of the Great Dividing Range in a little town called Warburton is like being in your own little cliched fairy tale.
So we just left breakfast. Skylar was up really early this morning. We had to go down and get some breakfast. Walked into town, it's probably only about 20 minutes from where we're staying, and now we've got a big day adventure plan. So we're going to go to the Redwood Forest, we're going to go to Mount Donabuang. Mount Donabuang? Yep. Mount Donabuang, and we are also probably going to go for a little bit of a trail walk, but we forgot our baby Bjorn carrier, so somehow we're going to have to find a spot that we can use this pram instead. How does that sound, Skylar? Kaka. Sounds good.
Warburton is the sort of place where smoke billows over the chimneys of old timber homes, and the Yarra River, it runs through this little town like a life-giving artery. And my escape to nature here almost already feels so ingrained in all the people that we meet and the way that the people here live their lives. Take, for example, Mount Donabuang. It's a place where kids are laughing when you get to the top of this beautiful mountain in the Yarra Ranges, where kids are hunting for the remnants of snow and they're dancing across this big open field, grabbing their toboggans. It's this place where there's even this incredible lookout at the top of this mountain where you can peek over the clouds and see almost all the way 360 degrees around Victoria. Or there's even this place, the Redwood Forest.
All right.
Secondly, you must stay somewhere unique. For me, this point is probably almost as important as adding self-raising flour to a cake if you're baking. I don't do much baking, But if you get this wrong and you don't pick somewhere funky, different, new, your entire trip can almost fall flat. So on this trip, I found the Warby Motel. The Warby Motel is a cute, refurbished 1960s motel set in the forest. It's nestled in the fork of a road on the outskirts of town, and it's flanked by towering beech trees on both sides, all visible from all the rooms on the upper level. It's simple at the Warby Motel, but don't get me wrong. Basic, but really, really well finished and restored. And they've even got something called the Treetop Suite, which is a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment, great for families. Now, I've got a real soft spot for places like the Warby Motel. These are sort of the roadside motels that are modest in their offering, but they offer really big value when it comes to exploring the wider region. And when you're sitting by the fire, their outdoor fire pit, with a beer in your hand, it's the end of the day, the sun's going down, and the kookaburras in the mountains and the trees around you are just going off, you realize that this place is just infinitely special. The last ingredient is to eat local and savor it. Savor everything. Food in my family, more specifically mealtime, is chaos. I'd imagine for anyone who has kids and who is watching this has a similar sort of experience. In the normalness of life, the business of a chaotic family, mealtime can be akin to the Hunger Games, where eating is almost secondary to survival. We get busy, we force food down our throats, we sit in front of the TV, and then we all just go to bed. When you're away, mealtime is not about survival at all. It's a chance for you to bookend the day. It's a chance for you to savor each other. To remember why getting lost is so important and so special. It doesn't exist unless you're sitting there with the people you love at the end of the day, enjoying local food. Now, when you're in Warburton and even in the nearby town of Westburn, there's a literal treasure trove of artisan bakeries and pastry shops with lattes and sausage rolls, which could be straight out of a big city. But here in the mountains and the forest, where every little hamlet has its own little pub. It's the Alpine Pub in Warburton, which is an absolute genuine treat. And if it's savouring local that you're after, then a beer that's served on a tap from just down the road and a roaring fire where locals are crammed in, this is the sort of bookend and this is the sort of escape I could really get used to.